Supervisors present, if you would rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, public comment. Charles Wilson.
Okay, guys, I got a phone call over the weekend just asking me whether I was still on the board or not. I guess it was from one of the attorneys from whoever it is that's suing you or whatever. I just wanted to let you know that I had gotten a call and that was it. I had no other conversation on it. But I did have some things I wanted to bring up. First off, I brought down for Dennis again the number of people that are not paying in El Reyna and bills. The totals are somewhere around $33,000 by this point now. It is owed to us by rent users, whatever you want to call them, customers in El Reyna. That really needs to be taken care of. I mean,
Some of these people, Chuck, I think we did file liens, but
I'm pretty sure all
you're going to have to start moving because liens aren't going to do anything for the next 10 years. And based on what I was seeing in the paper Monday, you're going to need money sooner than that. Second thing, I got a copy of the audit that was done for 2023. Now, I don't know if you paid the entire bill for the audit or not, but I'm telling you right now, you shouldn't pay it. You're barely getting half of the document you should be getting for the money you're paying. You should only pay for half of it. There's no management letter that's included with this audit, which should always be included in any audit, any one I've ever had done. You have no comparison to the budgeted spending that we should have had in 2023, which also was included in any audit I ever had done. And third, you have no trend on spending for any of the line items, which also should be included in any audit that I have ever seen done. I'm sitting on a sanitary authority in a dinky little place like West Elizabeth, and I'm getting twice as quality of audit as I saw that I picked up here. You guys really need to correct that.
I don't think West Elizabeth's dinky. For West Elizabeth.
West Elizabeth will tell you they consider themselves.
We'll check to see if you got everything. Maybe the management letter wasn't included and whatever. We'll check into that.
Well, all I got was barely a comparison of what the spending were on a line item. That's it. That's the only information on it.
what's that?
We have not received it from the auditor yet. I sent a message to her. She gave it to somebody to send to us, and that lady left. So it got
So when you
lost.
get that, give that to Chuck.
Yes.
Okay.
So I need that, and I also need the comparison of the spending and comparison against the budget that has been prepared for 2023. Lastly, when I came on board in 2022, one of the biggest complaints I had, and what many of the people out here in the audience were complaining about, was how much spending was going to attorneys. I mean, you remember it, Michelle? We were looking at over $200,000 in some year on spending on attorneys. So we got a situation coming up now where we're having to face, at least in the paper, because I know nothing more than what I see in the paper on these. We're now facing what is a much larger law firm in a much larger company. And all I can remember in the back of my head all the time is when Walmart decided to come into North Huntington, and North Huntington tried to stop them, and they looked at North Huntington and said, "We can spend you into oblivion." I don't want to see the same thing happening here. There's compromises I'm sure should be able to get reached here, that we don't have to be dragged through court constantly again. And I think most of the people here would ask for the same thing. Just get it settled. We don't want to be spending tons of money on this.
Thank you, Chuck. Your performance is up. All right?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Powell?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was writing
I'm
down
sorry.
Chuck's comment. Okay. George Powell.
All right, my first question is, how many lawsuits do we have going in this township right now against us?
We have the EQT,
Okay,
and we're finishing up the Middle Beach, and that's it, I believe.
just them two.
Yeah, Middle Beach is what is the development, so that should settle out shortly.
So that's a lawsuit that I was told a couple months ago there wasn't a lawsuit, but it was a
Which
lawsuit.
one, Middle Beach?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
we
I asked
told
you
you
the
that.
question. No, you told me it was not a lawsuit, Dennis.
I don't recall, I don't
Yes,
recall.
you did. Well,
No,
I think you just said it was mandamus.
you did.
I don't think you denied.
What's that?
You said the word mandamus or whatever.
Okay.
No, with these lawsuits against us, what's the chances we're gonna lose our insurance? Or it's gonna get unaffordable?
I don't think there's any chance of that happening.
No chance of that happening at all? Okay.
More damn it, the Damus was a couple of years ago, right?
Mandamus.
The
Mandamus
was
is
a couple
basically,
years ago, the Middle Beach.
Okay,
That's
now,
mandamus.
what's the holdup with the development of Tractor Supply? Why are we holding these people?
Tractor Supply?
Why Tractor Supply? That land there.
Not holding anyone up.
Who's
No.
who's
Nothing
the-
being held up there? That's a go-to bill on them?
Yeah, they put in for
Okay.
a car
And
wash,
Weber
right?
Supply, or
That's
Weber.
Weber, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of that.
That was passed here.
That's a
That
go,
was a-
okay,
that was a-
okay.
Yeah, it's
Car wash.
conditionally, I believe, there's some
Okay.
stipulations we had.
Now, the lawsuit come up against township with EQT. Are we going to receive updates on this at every meeting?
I never comment about litigation at meetings or any public, okay? But I think there'll be a favorable result.
But this is a public building, the public is being sued on this.
But I never comment about litigation in public. That's be unfathomable. But it should be
It involves
resolved.
us.
I understand that.
Well, evidently you don't.
I do, because I never speak litigation about public.
Yeah, okay, that's about all I had to go then. Okay,
All
thanks.
right, thank you,
Thank
George.
you.
So we won't get our answers. We don't want us.
Raymond
Sue
Dare,
us.
Raymond Dare?
Raymond Dare.
No transparency. Sue us.
I haven't been here for a while, but I've been hearing through the pipelines about the lawsuits we have EQT. What's going on with that?
They filed a complaint,
All right,
and that's presently pending. That's all I can tell you about right now.
is it in our best interest to settle this?
We just started. When was the complaint though?
It's always in the best interest to settle the case.
Okay. Want to elaborate on the lawsuit?
I'm not, meet my rules, I'm not permitted to talk about it right now.
Okay,
We have rules in terms of lawyers. We can't talk about litigation.
okay, so that's as far as you want to go then?
That's all I can tell you at this point in time.
All right.
Karen Strew.
Get involved in this? Okay.
Karen Strew.
We don't have him on.
Oh.
I didn't want you to have to lean in the microphone. I don't think he has him on.
Okay. Maybe we should look into new microphones too.
I just think he didn't hit the switch. I just didn't want you to.
Did the
have him
switch?
lean in.
I don't even know where this switch is.
No, him. He got it on now.
Okay.
I saw you leaning into a
Yeah.
microphone that wasn't on.
Okay. This past Monday, March 10th, I delivered to the township my resignation letter as an auditor to be effective immediately. I gave it to Laura, and I had my copy time-stamped, very time-stamped. Monday evening, I was surprised. I was on Facebook and I noticed on a couple local pages that our agenda had already been posted. So I got on the township website and it was on there. And I noticed two of the other auditors also resigned and they were on the agenda, but I'm not on the agenda.
We can add
You'll
that
be
right
on
now.
the agenda
We
at
can
the
do it right
next
now.
meeting.
No, I would like it done tonight, please.
It's
Well,
And
you-
you can do that,
your
right, Attorney Maple,
your-
according to the November 2023 Commonwealth Court case, that
Yeah.
there's 3 incidences where this can be addressed tonight and added.
It's innocuous, so.
Yeah, so
So-
your resignation is effective from the second you
But I
put it
would
in.
still
So
like-
there was a zoning hearing board meeting on
Right.
Tuesday, so the agenda went on, but we always have a cutoff date of Friday for the draft agenda.
Well, that was
So that's
under
why
that,
it
where
didn't
the
get added.
agendas were always posted, because I worked here and I know
Yeah,
that
I'm just saying.
the items would come in almost to the, the day before, as long as it's posted 24 hours in advance. So there were items that came in the day before, as long as it was on it.
Current policy.
So,
Well,
Nonetheless, your
but it was not
resignation
posted, it was-
is
So, but I
effective the
would like,
day that you.
can I ask please,
Let me-
can I ask one other question?
Sure.
When did the other auditors, Mr. Dare and Mr. Cox, when did they submit their resignations?
I think last week. I'm pretty sure last
Do
week.
we have copies of theirs
Yeah, I think it's.
with
probably in the board
timestamps and
packet.
everything?
It's in the board packet.
And what is the date on them? Could you tell me that? Look in your board packets and let me know. I'd just like to know for my records.
so if we make a motion to, what we do is make it
We
very.
can add it to it, it's de minimis in nature, but yeah.
That's fine, I would feel more comfortable at this point having it added to it.
Here's how we can do. We have 3 auditors that submitted the thing. A motion to accept the resignation of auditor A, B, and C.
Fine.
Okay?
But when did the other ones come in? Do you have it on your
March the 6th and March the 3rd, or 7th.
March 7th and 6th?
Yeah, Kevin's was the 6th and Rich's was the 7th.
Okay, all right, thank you, and if you could take care of it, I'd appreciate it tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have Kevin there.
Good evening, Kevin Dare, 6187 Ronald Lee, Finlandville, PA. Dennis, I'm still waiting for that right to know.
All right, I told Grant in my office what's that? I told Grant to do something with you. Grant's another attorney in the office, so I'll have him contact you next day or tomorrow.
Okay. I know you guys are a little bit busy, so.
We're never busy.
And this is off of Mr. Dare's comments in the back. I know in the past, and I don't think that the public wants to get legal strategy or any kind of legal strategy that you guys are getting. But anything that's already been accomplished or rolled upon or anything like that. I would tell you. Yeah, I think that's what we're looking for out here is transparency. And I know in the past, under prior boards and solicitors, there was updates. I mean, and when significant things would happen where it didn't jeopardize the legal strategy of the township or anybody up here, that was discussed and it was given to the township residents, and I think that was very well received because they were in the loop and they were transparent. I know Mr. Dare probably feels like he didn't get anywhere tonight.
Well, I can see. I think I'm constrained by my rules of ethics as an attorney. I can say certain things, and I normally don't like to speak in public about lawsuits, but I will always keep the board appraised of what the status is. All I can tell you is complaints were filed by EQT, EQM. Okay.
Well, I'm just talking about like if there's dismissals or
If that would happen, I would tell you that.
yeah, and I think that's what we're looking for.
And if there's a resolution, that's something to be public information also.
The other thing is the money that is going to be spent on this. It's unfortunately going to be a lot of money.
That's if it's not resolved.
It's probably already cost a lot of money. So just keep that in mind. I don't know what your strategy is, but I think that Union Township, you really ought to consider the taxpayers and all this.
I always do.
And keep them at heart in any kind of decisions that you guys make. So,
Thank you, Mr. Dare.
Okay. Approval of meeting minutes, February 26, 2025, regular meeting. Any motion to approve them?
I will approve it.
Coral, any second? Come on, guys, wake up. All in favor? March 6 meeting minutes, a public meeting with PCSA. I will make a motion to approve those meeting minutes. Any second? On second, all in favor? Announcements, we have a vacancy on the zoning hearing board. Anybody interested, put your name in. Second announcement, executive session on March 12th, which is today, 2025, dealing with litigation. Township reports. We got the police report, fire department report. A police officer must not have been available tonight. Sometimes that happens with their line of work. Fire department report. Administrative report. Did you have anything you needed outside of what you gave us? Zoning report. Did you have anything you needed?
Nope, answer any questions, if anybody has any.
Okay, engineer report. You're up, TJ.
Sure, thanks, Michelle. We submitted our report this week. I don't have much to update on there, other than what's bolded on the report. The only thing I wanted to talk about here tonight was the last item on the engineer's report, item 16, which is the DCED Small Water and Sewer Grant Program. And I introduced this last meeting. Just wanted to see if the board had any additional thoughts on possible projects for that grant application for sanitary sewer projects or storm sewer projects. I know we talked last time about maybe putting together an application for some I&I testing down in the El Rama collection system, so we can move that ahead. I just wasn't sure if there was any other input in terms of projects that we want to.
Well, I mean, storm sewers, you know, we're going to be looking at air gone. I mean, is that something that anyone?
Yeah. Or the Jack Street.
The Jack Street, air gone. I mean, I think that's been one of our drainage has been one of our big.
Yeah, it's been a priority. I agree.
I mean, is there a way that you could maybe talk to the superintendent, see what his thoughts are, shoot us out an email of what he thinks is the most important?
Yeah, and the other thing is timing with this. Like these applications, you know, we'll submit them by the end of April, but we probably won't find out if we receive funding until months down the road. So it's an opportunity to get a future project funded, but it's probably not something that we want to do this year.
Yeah, asking what project we might be doing next year.
Right. So that's fine. I'll move ahead with the I&I, and I'll talk to Ken about what projects we might want to look at in 2026.
It's like picking one.
For,
there's so many.
For a grant application.
What about Railroad Street?
Yeah, that's this year.
See, I think if we want to try to do that this year, we should move ahead on that, but maybe not apply for a grant because we'll be waiting a while.
So he suggested on grant projects that we've been doing in 2026 that we might want to apply for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have, unless there's any questions from the board.
Nothing we would want to do on Pumpkin Center. Too small.
I mean, it's yeah.
I'm sorry?
Pumpkin Center, would that fall in here?
I said
Well,
I would.
I think that's a road repair project, John, primarily, so I think that's a stretch to fall under the storm sewer category, which this is for small water and sewers, so I don't know that that's the best one to apply for, just based on the nature of the scope of work.
When are you gonna start a Pumpkin Center?
Okay, discussion in motion. Agreement with the Union Finley Area Athletic Associations for Veterans Field for 2025. To my knowledge, this is the same agreement as last year. So without change, just change to the date and the, go under the same conditions, their insurance, proof of insurance and stuff like that. Anybody want to make a motion for approving the agreement?
I'll make the motion.
Suzanne?
Second.
Any other discussion on it? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, discussion and motion to advertise for the 2025 grass cutting services. This is a motion just to advertise. I'll make a motion to advertise for grass cutting services 2025. Any second?
Second.
Carl second. Any other discussion on it? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Discussion and motion to accept the bids for the 2025 equipment rental. No saying whether or not we would rent any of this equipment or how much of it, but that is your pricing and your awarded bids. I make a motion to accept the bids for 2025 equipment rentals. Any second?
Okay, Michelle, where are the
I
other
need a
ones
second
at?
first.
Oh, second.
Okay.
How many bids did you get, Jan?
That's it.
Just KLDs?
And there was one for, Seal Master.
Yeah, they're better.
Seal
Yeah,
Master,
yeah.
yeah.
It has to be
Yeah.
landscaping.
Yeah, that's it. Those are all the bids we got.
Okay. Any other comment? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Railroad street side repair.
Is there any opposition to that at all?
No, I heard everyone say
I
aye.
did hear it.
Railroad street side repair.
Yeah, so, I received an email from First Energy. This came in on March 6th. And I believe I forwarded a copy to the board. This came from Lacey Strotman, who's our primary contact over there. They're indicating to us how far they're considering moving those power poles. And they're asking the question about the proposed road right-of-way. Right now we have a variable width right-of-way that's not even 33 feet from the edge of the railroad to where those private properties begin on Railroad Street. So Bankson has prepared a preliminary concept plan for this, high level, what we think might work to repair this road. We haven't surveyed the area yet. We haven't prepared a final design. We have placed a PA1 call out there, design 1 call, notifying the utility owners in the area that we're potentially looking into a design project there. I think in order to, First Energy is asking us how much additional right-of-way we're going to need to take from these property owners to be able to do our project, because that helps them determine if they're still within our public road right-of-way or if they need to obtain their own private easement for their new power pole locations. So I think in order to answer this question from First Energy, we need to move towards completing our final design, doing a survey, engaging the railroad company, engaging the other utility owners that operate their facilities out there, and moving ahead towards an engineered design to repair this road. So I wanted to talk with the board about this because, you know, there's some engineering effort there to advance this project into the design phase so we can, you know, move towards ultimate construction. But that's where we are. We've received a request for additional information from the power company. Our office, to be able to answer them comprehensively, would need to, you know, move towards something formal at this point. So that's why I asked for this to be on the agenda tonight.
What utilities you involved out there?
So Peters Creek Sanitary Authority owns sanitary sewer that runs down Railroad Street. And talking to Rick Kovach over there, it's probably 4 or 5 feet off the edge of the road before you get to the berm going down to the railroad. Pennsylvania American has a public water line running back there to it.
Gas, natural gas?
Yeah, I believe there's gas in there as well. Yes.
Cable, power?
Power is overhead, and I believe telecom's overhead too, but that's something we'd answer as part of the
Investigation.
design. So we talked about doing 2 things out there: widening Railroad Street towards those private properties, making the road wider a couple feet, and potentially constructing a wall there along the property line with the railroad, because what's happening with that road is it's, you know, when the bank was shaved off and the vegetation no longer supporting that bank, we don't have much in the way of lateral support, and that road is moving
Towards the railroad?
Towards the railroad, yeah. There's a, you know, once you climb that first bridge going back to those houses there on the right hand side, you get to a little plateau, it drops down a little bit in grade, and there's a low spot there, maybe 250 feet off Indigo-Lorema Road, maybe 300 feet at the most. And right there, that pavement is in pretty poor condition. It's asphalt. There's alligator cracking in the asphalt. It's close to disrepair. So the problem being, A, there's not lateral support to hold the road. It's moving towards the railroad, for one. And for two, that low spot collects water, and the water just seeps down into the road and then moves through. So, to address it, it's going to be, somewhat expensive. I mean, it's not a cheap fix. That retaining wall between the railroad and the road itself, probably a couple 100 feet at minimum. And obviously we need to talk to the railroad and get their approval to do that. So there's a lot of interested parties. It's not a
Are you going to include budgeting for this project?
Yes, I'm certainly. I mean, we can do an engineering estimate for the construction cost.
What about acquiring any of the property that we would need for these?
Yeah. Hard to know at this point what we would need for that. I mean, I think the first thing we need to determine is how much we're going to widen the road. How much are we really going to encroach on these people's land? And then, talking to a couple of the property owners up there, I don't know that they'd give us a ton of opposition. I haven't talked to everyone.
There was that Adam Castro that was here that said, bring the road to my porch, but I need to get out of my driveway. I need to get an ambulance up there if needed, or a fire truck.
So what are you asking for, Teacher? Authorization?
Well, I think
evaluation, investigation.
Yeah, I think the way I foresee the next steps with this project are authorization to proceed into the design phase. Our office would come survey the area. We would put together a design. We would approach the railroad. We would approach the other utility owners, including First Energy. But I can certainly prepare an estimate before that if you'd like. I think we need to look at it two ways. One is if we had we complete the project in-house, or two, we do it at a public bid.
First Energy has already agreed to relocate the poles, right?
Well, First Energy's poles are within our public road right-of-way right now. So, as part of a potential widening project, they would need to move their poles, and they've indicated that they will do that.
If I recall, that was a bet.
Yeah. So they're asking us for some more information. I can't really give it to them without a design knowing what we're proposing to do. So obviously we have a lot of projects in various states of completion right now. So that's I think another thing at some point that needs to be discussed is prioritization on these different jobs, and what do we want to try to tackle this year versus what is a future project, and planning for that. It would help our office if we had a conversation about that.
Meetings.
That's my goal.
Sounds expensive. I don't know.
So are you asking us to do anything with this evening? Or you working on a priority?
Well, do you want me to prepare cost estimates first?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, so I'll do that first, and then we can table this for now and revisit it at a meeting later this month.
Okay. Reaffirm, advertise, hiring full-time operator road crew position. I make a motion. Any second?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Reaffirm to advertise for a part-time seasonal work employee, April through September. I make a motion. Any second?
Second.
Okay, we'll call it Carl. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Affirm we're gonna make this into a three-part So we are going to affirm the resignation of Richard Cox, Kevin Dare, and Karen Stroop on the Board of Auditors.
Effective today's date.
Effective, it doesn't get effective the day they, okay, doesn't matter. Effective March 12th, 2025. I make that, well, yeah, I make that motion.
Second.
Mary second,
A question,
sure.
would you wanna change the word to accept the
Should be
resignation?
accept.
Okay. Well, I mean, they don't have to wait for us to accept them to resign.
No,
like,
but if
so
they
that's, yeah,
accept,
so we
he's right,
accept them.
accept.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm striking H off the agenda, so we're going to I. Approve Laura Rupick to attend the PSATS convention, May 4th through 7th. Any motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so that was Carl and Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
We're going down to L. Discuss motion to approve advertising for sealed bids for paving and tar and chip projects for the 2025 to be awarded at the April 23rd, 2025 meeting. Open bids on Monday, April 21st. This would be using liquid fuels funds. Is there any motion to advertise for sealed bids for paving and tar and chip projects?
I'll make the motion.
Mary makes the motion. Any second?
I'll second.
She's on second.
You're gonna, yeah. You gonna skip Jay?
No, I didn't mean to. That was the other one I was doing. I'll go back to it. I did miss it, so thank you so much. All in favor on the advertising? Aye. I need to go back up to J. Somehow we keep doing the same one. So Lori Canavy had put in her letter of intent to wish to stay on the planning commission for a new 4-year term effective 1/1/25. We discussed it in the December meeting, however, it didn't make the meeting minutes, so for documenting it, I make that motion to reaffirm that we had appointed her to the planning commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. You skipped H.
No, we're going back down. We skipped J.
No, you skipped H. It's alphabetical order, you know, A through Z.
No, I struck that from the agenda. You just weren't listening. You must have been too much talking back there. M, discuss motion to advertise for sealed bids for materials, stone and et cetera, stone pipe, et cetera, for the 2025. To be awarded at the April 23rd meeting, opening the bids on Monday, April 21st.
I'll make that motion.
Carl made the motion. Any seconds to the motion to put out the bid for stone?
Second.
Larry second. All in favor? Aye. Old business. This was formally tabled. I make a motion to take off the table, or remove from the table, resolution number 3 for 2025 with the fee schedule. So I'm making a motion to remove that from the table. Any second to that motion? Carl second. Okay, now that it's taken off the table, I'm between two golfers. I'm afraid I'm going to get sick up in here. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, get everyone sick up in here. Okay. Discussion and motion for resolution number 3, 2025 for the township's fee schedule. This would be the fees and so forth that people would pay for permitting and so forth. Is there a motion to approve that fee schedule that Janice made?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so Carl made the motion. I'll second the motion. Any discussion on them? No? All in favor? Aye. Okay, discussion and approval to increase the cost for the El Rama Park Playground mulch by $2,450. And if I recall, This is just what, things have gone up since we planned.
Yeah.
So with that wouldn't be considered a change order or anything like that, nope, okay. So I will make a motion to increase, the budget for the playground mulch for El Ramo Park by $2,450. Have any second?
Second.
Larry second, any other discussion on it? No?
No, just a comment that, it'll still be within the grant.
So, yeah, so that it was still covered by the grant, that leeway was there. Okay, all in favor? Aye. No discussion items, approval of bills. Approve the bills dated March 7th, 2025 from the general fund in the amount of $51,049.52. Make a motion to approve those. Any seconds on approving the bills?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Approval of payroll dated February 28th, 2025 in the amount of $20,581.85. Do we have any motions for that?
I'll make the motion.
Paul made the motion. Do we have any second for that? Any
Second.
Larry second. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:07?
Well, I have a question.
7:06.
Is there a
And
process
any
for
second on
taking
that?
stuff off the agenda?
Yeah, how can you just take stuff off the agenda?
Did you say something tonight?
I
'Cause
did,
we
I said I
all
struck
missed
it from
if
the
you did.
agenda. I did say
You
I
did?
struck it from the agenda, yes.
Who heard you say
Is
it?
there
I
not-
don't know who heard me,
I heard it.
but, I have a motion to adjourn at 7:07.
We're also going down
Any
to one
second?
meeting a month. Would be nice
Any
to
second
tell
on the
the,
motion to
public
adjourn?
I'll second.
Thank you.
and
Who's on second, all in favor? Aye. We're
I
adjourned.
forgot the public's all out here.
Absolutely.
We just paid bills.
If you didn't talk so much in the back, you would have heard what was said. I could barely hear up here. There was
And if
so
you
much
would open your
talking
mouth
back
up
there.
and turn the mics on, the public can hear what you say.
It is
Well-
hard, it's hard to hear, it is hard to hear, it really is.
Now, are we going down to one meeting a month now?
We said that for 3 months. We said that through the budget workshops. We said that through the organization meeting. We
So if
advertised it
something-
in the paper, we put it on the website. It
If
has
something
been
is
discussed
tabled,
for over
they
3
have to wait a
months.
month to get an answer on it.
Huh?
What was that, George? If something gets tabled, we have to wait a month to get an answer on it.
Starts in April,
I mean, barely anything ever gets tabled, but. We've tabled a fee schedule because it wasn't quite done, but I mean, like, that didn't hold up
You
anything.
constantly table
So
stuff.
if we're going to monthly meetings, can we get the meetings recorded by the time